Hello, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, ma'am. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for joining. We're really glad to have you as part of the new IGI family. Just wanted to, learn a little bit more about you. So, can you tell us how you ended up in cybersecurity?
Sure. Actually, yeah, it's a great story. So I had been my first adult job was selling conference call services. So I sold WebEx and would call on Fortune 500 companies, and they would say, "Oh, web conferencing will never work because it's just for various reasons." They said web conferencing would never work, and now look at the industry that we have now and how it basically saved us this past year. And so an organization called me up because they knew of my experience in selling conference call services and voice services. And they said, "Come on over. We'd like to have you join." So they gave me a few extra bucks. And this was early on in my career where that meant a lot to me to get that little bump in pay, and went over. And then about a week in, they said, "Oh, we're changing the whole business model. We're going to be selling cybersecurity solutions and softwares." I'm like, "Okay, I think I know what antivirus is, and I think I know what a firewall is, but other than that, I didn't know." So really had to teach myself from the ground up on the proficiencies of cybersecurity. So that journey started in October of 2009, and brings me to now. And it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. I love the industry. I love the opportunity to help organizations become more aware of security and risk, and to help them to reach a point where they're mitigating risk and in securing their environment as best as possible.
That's amazing. Very good. And so, you're very passionate about it. And what are your other passions, even outside of work?
Let's see. So passion. So I'm a father of four. So that passion can burn with happiness sometimes, and it can burn with frustration sometimes. It could burn with anger sometimes. But no, they're good kids. So really, it's funny when we talk about the work that we do and what we do to provide for our families. They're the reason why I do this, honestly. Is to help them through life, and to try to be the best example as I can of someone that loves their family, wants to provide for them. I don't do the best job of that all the time. I'll be the first to admit it. But it's just making sure that I put them in a good spot to where they're doing better than I am, when they get older. That's really the piece of my life that would be the win, if they're more successful and doing better in life than I am. So they're definitely my passion. I've been married for 17 years now, and that's a interesting journey for those who've been married at any point in life. But love each other, and really happy about that. I guess when I'm not saving the world with cybersecurity or breaking up fights in my family room, I'm a big sports nut. I grew up in New York City, so a lot of my teams are from New York City. I'm a big Mets fan, and Knicks fan, and Rangers fan, and Giant fan, and really enjoy that. That's kind of my stress release, is to watch those sports. I actually coach also baseball for my son, which has been a true joy and a true honor to coach him. I've coached him since he's been about 6, and he's at 13 now. So
Okay.
I'm losing the coaching piece of it, because he'll be playing. We call it up here. I don't know if people know what modified means, but it's like your junior high school team that he'll be joining, and I'm not gonna coach there. So I'm interested in the next phase of his athletic journey, to be a dad in the stands, and watch him play, and do that. I guess the other things that my kids do. So my oldest daughter is a flautist. I think that's how we're supposed to call them, a
Okay.
flautist, not a flute player. She's really good, really awesome. She just got into a program in uh, January for. There's a music school here called Eastman School of Music, and they have a bridge program for high school students. She's in ninth grade, and she's doing that as well. My youngest son is a techie. Give him an iPad and Fortnite, and he's thrilled. And my youngest daughter is either going to be a CEO someday or president of the United States. She is a very strong individual, which it's tough to manage, because you don't want her to lose that independence and that strength, but when it's bedtime, it's bedtime. So we are navigating through that. And she's 7. She's 7 years old. My youngest son is 10, and my oldest daughter is 15.
Nice. And I believe you and I both share a passion for coffee, although you do your own roasting. You want to kind of tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that? Because that's an interesting hobby.
Yeah. So I think I'm more cheap than I am creative. So I'll say that. So I love good coffee. I've always loved good coffee, but I think a couple of years ago I was like, why is this 14.99 for a pound of beans? This doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. And again, kind of being cheap, I said there's got to be another way. So my heritage is I'm half Puerto Rican, and my mom is second generation Puerto Rican. Her parents came over before she did, and she was born in the States. But it turns out that my great grandmother used to roast coffee beans on an open fire in Puerto Rico. And I was talking to my uncle about that. He's kind of the keeper of the historical facts on that side of the family. It's like, yeah, he's like, she used to do that. So I was like, that's really interesting. I wonder how hard it is. So of course I YouTubed it, and I was like, oh, I think I could pull this off. And then I was like, oh man, this is probably gonna be even more expensive. And come to find out, it went from 18.99 a pound to 6.99 a pound for beans. And it tastes, I mean, I can't even drink Starbucks at this point without cream, putting a ton of cream in it and kind of making it palatable. It's just this fresh kind of thing, and I love it. So that's passion one. This passion would be number one, but I live in upstate New York, so I can't do it all year round. But I love barbecuing. Big barbecuing
Hmm.
guy. I love to smoke ribs and um, brisket and pork and chicken and things like that. Actually, one thing that I smoke that is amazing, and my wife is a picky eater, but she loved it. I smoked goat before.
Oh, nice.
It's actually awesome. It was actually pretty good. It came out good. So, yeah, I love messing around with the different types of woods and the different types of low and slow
Right.
opportunities and things like that. So that and I love to cook also. We have a tradition now. It started during COVID where we do Sunday dinner at our house. Like it's a set thing. So I have the kids get in the kitchen. I call them, my sous chefs, and they're chopping and they're getting
Nice.
everything in order, and we're trying to establish that tradition in their house that they'll always have a place to come home no matter what for Sunday dinner, and then maybe they'll pass it along to their families as well.
Absolutely. Well, that's good that you found some new traditions during COVID.
hmm
So, just to wrap it up, what is your work life philosophy?
So my work life philosophy is to take what I do and do the complete opposite of it. That's that's my work life philosophy. I am really bad at balancing work life. It comes from a good heart. I work really hard to provide for my family and to provide for their basic needs, and to be able to bless them whenever I can. So it comes from a good heart, but I really need to work on, shutting it down for the day. And especially during COVID and working from home, the old thought was, oh, if you work from home, you're going to be lazy and you're going to drink all day and you're going to watch soaps all day. And it's like, yeah, I guess you could do that, but what I found, and I've had a work from home option for a while now, but this past year was the first real time where it's like, no, you're home. And I found it hard to shut down. Like I would walk by my
Right.
office and it would be 8 o'clock at night, and like, oh, I got another thing to do. And then we go back in there, and before I knew it, it was 10:30, and the kids went to bed, and it's a balance. So you're
Right.
going to get a front row seat to that, and now I'm accountable now because I'm telling everybody that this is my struggle. So but it's good to kind of throw it out there. I think a lot of people struggle with that also. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
really struggle with that work life balance, so we got to support each other in that, and make sure that we're doing self-care. I think that's one thing during COVID that I really got into, and really understanding was that self care piece. So I got into meditation during COVID, and being militant about getting up. I was usually an early riser, but really setting a time saying, hey, I'm not sleeping past 6 o'clock in the morning because I need that hour of solitude and peace, in the morning to kind of get my thoughts together and prepare for the day. So, it was a very tough and strenuous year for all of us in different ways, but it also brought some positivity as well. And it's that for me personally, it helped me to establish some new life patterns that were more healthy than anything, and I'm really thankful for that.
Good. That's awesome. All right. And so the final question is, I know that, you have been introduced and working now with Solaris and their partners in the Solaris ecosystem. So tell me, what you have just found the most joy in working with Solaris.
Oh man, I mean, so, truth be told, I had never really worked in like a master agent environment before. I'd worked for value-added resellers. I had solutions that we would work with value-added resellers with, and things of that nature. So the whole master agent piece took me a couple of weeks to kind of understand what it was. But what I'm absolutely just blown away from, in working with Talera specifically, is the focus and love for the customer, that is across the board, and the care that you have for the agents and for the end users as well. That's not common. It sounds like it's a pretty simple fact, and I think, Teleris folks that are watching this will say, well, yeah, I mean, that's how you make money. That's how you create opportunities. That's how you do things. And it's really not commonplace. There are a lot of people that just they show up and throw up in meetings, and they're just like, here you go, here's the circuit, here's 50 Zoom accounts. Call me if something goes wrong, and they're away. But I'm just blown away by the hands-on approach that the Teleris culture is. And I told Kimberly today I'm getting my vaccine in beginning of March. Hopefully I'll have my second one by the end of March. I can't wait to get on the road and meet you guys face to face, guys and gals. Guys is a New York. That's a Northeast thing. So when I say guys, it's guys and gals. But Kimberly has she's corrected me and said the other parts of the country you say guys, they think it's just guys. So my Teleris family, I can't wait to meet with you and to break bread and to sit around and collaborate and strategize, how we can really do this. My success is contingent on how well we work together. I see that, like, that's visible to me. And I want to make you guys and gals successful as well in that process also. So this is bilateral. This is something that, if I am working with a client that I'm not working anything with Teleris, and I hear that they need Zoom accounts or they need UCAS or something like that, I'm going to spin that back to you guys and gals, and I'm going to say, hey, I have this account. Who can I get in touch with? Who can I do that? Because that's the way business really works when it works really well, is that we're both helping each other. And look forward to supporting you, giving you the knowledge that I have, learning from you, and yeah, just super pumped to get this really going.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Thank
And
you.
we're really excited about working with you and strategizing with our partners on the best way to sell cybersecurity services. All right, Paul, have a great day.
Thank you. You guys have a great day. Take care. Bye.